Hello everyone and welcome to the Virtual Vechtschule. In case you're a bit confused about the title, it simply refers to the fact that you're going to be watching a sparring video of 3 different styles of greatsword. To begin with, we're going to have Martin from Schildwache Potsdam, who's going to be using the spadone in the style of the Bolognese tradition. And of course, the most famous proponent of this tradition was the fencing master known as Achilles. Secondly, we'll have Mike Prendergast, who's going to be using the two-handed sword in the style described by the Hispano-Italian mercenary commander Pietro Monte. And finally, I'm going to be using my greatsword in the style of the 1540 German Goliath manuscript. So, a little bit of background. A few weeks ago, the International Montante Symposium happened, and I was lucky enough to pick up a couple of the new Sigi Montantes there. Before that, I had worked on the Goliath manuscript quite a bit, testing a hypothesis about this 1540 version of a much older German longsword gloss by the anonymous fencing master that is nowadays known as the pseudo-Peter von Danzig. It's called Goliath because it has an illustration of David and Goliath on one of the first pages, but it's mostly interesting because it's from that transitional period when a lot of new weapons such as the side sword and two-handed battle swords became popular, and many existing styles adapted to the new meta by making everything, well, a lot longer. The manuscript depicts rather long swords, pretty much of greatsword length, while the original was intended for much shorter swords. My idea was that in the Goliath manuscript, the illustrations show some accommodation for such big swords, effectively altering the technique in some key ways. When going through it solo during 2020, this did seem to be the case to me. Since then, the project kind of went into hibernation though, so it was pretty difficult to find people to train with, and sparring was all but impossible with the swords that I had at my disposal back then. It was about time to reinvigorate this idea though, and Sigiforge was kind enough to supply me with one of the 2 swords I needed for it. I decided to immediately test them out, of course, finding Martin and Mike very much prepared to do some rounds of friendly sparring. What we ended up with is a pretty nice showcase of these 3 different styles of fighting with greatswords from the early 16th century. Apart from that, it's also a good starting point for continuing my deep dive into the Goliath manuscript. I found that I definitely have some more work to do to integrate some parts of my knowledge of this manuscript into sparring, while some other techniques that I use a lot with regular longsword suddenly became even more potent. I hope you'll enjoy it, so let's get straight into the sparring.